The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's the 4th of October, 2024. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined once again by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we discuss the news of the day, presented today by GameTime.co, your ultimate headquarters for all of your Miami Hurricanes ticket needs. If you need a ticket for Saturday night's game at Cal, any NFL game, NBA, NHL starting up, any concert, any theater show, GameTime.co will have you covered. We'll talk a little bit more about them later in the show, but right now we are all about the Miami Hurricanes, who are on the West Coast. They flew out to California yesterday during the day, Matt, and great idea. I mean, kind of obvious move to make, but great idea to travel out early, let these guys get acclimated the best that they can to West Coast time. I'm not sure that you could do it perfectly when you have a kickoff at 7:30 out there, which is 10:30 on their body clocks, but the extra day has the gut to be helpful to them in some way, shape, or form.
That's a question? I don't understand. Well, there's an awkward silence.
You're
very beneficial. Very beneficial. Very beneficial.
Listen, all right. Fine. I forget about it. You know, you could pretend I didn't ask the question.
It wasn't a question. You said it's very beneficial. Of course it's beneficial to go out there early. Why wouldn't you? Should have gone out there last week before the Virginia Tech game.
Well, I mean, you know, everyone makes a big deal whenever a team crosses coast. I mean, let's look at Cal. They did it once. They beat Auburn at Auburn. Then 2 weeks later, they do it again, and they lose to a Florida State team that they're probably better than. And it's hard, man. All that travel is not easy, particularly when you have to do it twice. Miami only has to do it once. I thought it was also a good move that they're going to stay overnight rather than fly a red eye home and then come back at their leisure on Sunday. Everything that they can do to minimize the wear and tear of this travel, they are doing. But, you know, this week, let's talk about the week in general. You know, I think it was a circle the wagons type of week. Not just for Mario Cristobal and the coaches, but also the players. They know they didn't put their best foot forward against Virginia Tech last Friday. Went down to the final play, got the break on the replay, a deserved break, but a break nonetheless. It could have gone the other way, and we would be looking at this game on Saturday with a whole different perspective than what we are. But to me, Matt, the key is don't ignore what happened Friday. Be honest with yourselves about it. Why did it happen? Why did Cam Ward, arguably with everybody, the top candidate for the Heisman Trophy this year, why did he suddenly revert back to the Cam Ward of Washington State with responsibility for 3 turnovers? This has been his Achilles heel throughout his career. They've worked very hard on it here at Miami to get rid of it. He had done a great job the first 4 games. Why did that resurface in the Virginia Tech game? And Matt, I don't know what your theory is, but my personal opinion is that there is too much on his shoulders. I think that this Heisman hype and the way the season has begun, it was too easy. And maybe a little bit of the details maybe fell a little bit by the wayside against Virginia Tech. And I see Mario recognizing that, and I think he's going to try to rein it in. And the way to rein that in my opinion, is use the talent that you have. Use your running backs. The running backs are not impacting the games at the level that they are capable of doing. I expect Miami to recommit to the running game this week and then use that to set up the pass. Everybody will be happy. The running backs will get more juice. Cam Ward will still get good stats. The receivers should get play. That's what Miami did, pretty effectively in Gainesville, and it worked out pretty well. That was by far the best that they've really looked against good competition this year.
I mean, the way I look at it is if I'm Cal's defensive coordinator, I'm hoping they do what you're suggesting. I'm hoping they rein Cam Ward in and don't let him be himself. Because, yeah, when Cam Ward is himself, some bad goes along with the good. That's how he's been. You know, he puts up ridiculous numbers and he makes a couple of mistakes a game. It is what it is. Like, that's what you get with Cam Ward. He's not perfect. Nobody is. 46 fumbles in 4 years, 3 turnovers last game. Is it troubling? Yeah, but the minute you decide we're going to start running the ball 50%, take the load off Cam Ward's shoulders, the minute you say, Cam, we can't be giving teams 14 points, you need to think for that extra split second. Don't just throw the ball, you know, when you split second see a guy. That's when Miami will start losing games, okay? So, to me, you've gotten to 5-0.
Last week doing it the other way, Matt.
Yeah, I know, because Virginia Tech played really well.
Over 3 times, you're going to lose most of the time.
See, you're blaming Cam Ward. I'm blaming the defense. We have 2 different philosophies. Miami scored 38 points. You know, Miami didn't hold up on defense numerous times. They missed 21 tackles. They should have won that game by 21 points, even with Cam Ward giving away 14 to 21 points. And when you take it one game at a time, okay, and you look at this Cal team, okay, so they beat Auburn, all right, and they lost to Florida State, as Gary so aptly. It's fantastic journalism, Gary. I don't know how you figured that information out. I guess you went to your sources and you figured out they beat Auburn and lost.
Listen, don't talk to me about journalism, okay? You were the laughing stock of the press corps this week. Okay? Don't even you were the laughing stock of the Miami press corps this week. Don't you talk to me about journalism. And for those of you,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't speak over me. For those of you out there that don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't say this proudly because he was representing CaneSport, okay, and I am the publisher, so I'm not sitting here waving pom-poms over this, but, you know, just so you guys should know that, you know, think Matt Shodell is God. He is a human being, okay? This was Matt Shodell during the Cam Ward press conference this week.
I guess I know you had a couple of interceptions which you had back, but they have 10 already through 4 games. So they seem to really enjoy grabbing the other guys' balls. What do you think about their defense and their interceptions?
They're good, sound defense. They are what they say they are on the stat sheet.
I made a mistake just like Cam Ward did. Cam Ward's allowed to make mistakes and
grabbing balls, okay? I've never seen anything like that in my entire career. And you know, Cam Ward is everything, man. Like, he didn't even flinch. Like, you know, he's
focused. He's locked in, man. Cam Ward's allowed to
ask him about them grabbing his balls.
Cam Ward's allowed to make mistakes. Matt Shodell is not. It was, you know, people think I pre-planned that question to get how many 250,000 things on Twitter, and
you just wanted the publicity.
People saying I'm a terrible journalist and I'll never be able to ask questions again.
You wanted everybody talking about
you. We already knew I was a terrible journalist. You guys needed me to ask that question to know I'm a terrible journalist? I mean, was this a revelation to the people out there? Listen, if I accidentally brought some joy to Matt Shodell haters and to Miami Hurricanes fans who think the press corps is a bunch of morons anyway, and I proved your point, like, you're welcome. You know, I'm not here. I know a lot of reporters pre-write their questions and read them. I stopped doing that when I was 22 years old, and maybe I should go back to doing it, but I am unapologetically real, and I did not pre-plan it, and I didn't even realize what I'd said until somebody posted it on Twitter. I didn't even realize. It's not like, you know, it's not like the media members were texting me like, hey, do you realize you said that Cal likes grabbing balls? You know, I mean, I just thought, like, they like grabbing footballs. Like, they've been really good at grabbing footballs. And I should have put the word foot in front of balls, apparently. I'm glad everyone had a lot of fun at my expense. That's what everyone does in my life, all my life, so it doesn't bother me at all. Quite honestly, I think another reporter would crumple up into a corner and maybe grab some balls. But me, I just keep on chugging, man. So anyway, what I was trying to get back to and what I was trying to talk about before you went off and decided to have your fun with me. By the way, stone crab season. Guess when it starts? Coming up.
Because
coming up.
This guy's back in front of your house.
So tomorrow morning before the game, and I know I'm staying up till 4 in the morning, but I know I'm staying up till 4 in the morning after the game. But before the game, I'm waking up at 6 in the morning. I'm going out in the bay with my buddy, and we are dropping our stone crab traps, or pots as we call them, all over the bay, man. That's my Saturday morning. And then, 12 hours later, or thereabouts after I get back. I'll be starting to watch the Cal game. And as for Cal, okay, people,
I'm waking up at 6 a.m. also, but
okay.
I got to watch game day. I am not going to see it live at 6 a.m. I refuse to go to the Cal campus at 6 a.m., but I do want to watch it.
Well, I will not be at Cal, unlike you. I will be on the water of Biscayne Bay. So anyway, so listen, here's the deal. I know people want to hear about Cal, and obviously, you know, Gary has his thoughts on the game. I have my thoughts on the game. Here's my thoughts on the game. Keep in mind, I'm the guy who asks terrible questions and is somewhat brain dead, but here are my thoughts. You know, I don't know if I'll be as right as I was against Virginia Tech, but Cal is not Virginia Tech. Cal maybe has a similar sort of power run element to the game as Virginia Tech, but the quarterback is not mobile. They have given up a ton of sacks, and I just don't see that quarterback having a lot of time to throw. I think Cal will come out with that quick passing game. I do not think it will be successful, even though Miami will remain banged up on the D-line. You will have Barron and I assume Bain out there, so good luck to Cal with that. And keep this in mind too, okay? Cal, they've won every game except for Florida State, and they did have a bye, which the bye is the only thing that honestly concerns me at all, because you don't know if they're going to change some things, because God knows they need to change some things in their offense. Their offense is not good. It is not good. I know Mario and the Miami players are like, oh my God, they're amazing. Usually they're only good on defense, but this year they're amazing on offense. They're not. They're terrible on offense, okay? So against FSU was actually one of their better offensive performances, and they only scored 9 points. But they did have a big edge in yardage. So, I mean, realistically, they probably should be undefeated if you just look at it, because they did have 410 yards of offense, and they only gave up 284 yards, but they missed 2 field goals, and they just were very inconsistent on the offensive end. They didn't throw any touchdowns. They turned the ball over. So that was their problem. Now, against Auburn, a game that they got a big upset in, right? Against Auburn, they scored 21 points, but they only had in the entire game 332 yards, okay? So they're winning with defense against teams that have questionable offense. I know Auburn had one really good game on offense, but I still think Auburn's a little questionable on its offense overall. FSU, obviously very questionable on its offense. I don't see Miami being held below 28 points. I don't see Cal scoring more than 17 to 20 points. So, you know, I think Miami wins this one easier, much easier than they did against Virginia Tech. This is not as good a team as Virginia Tech from what I have seen just looking at film. Miami played poorly against Virginia Tech. I expect them to play better this game. So I do think Miami wins this 2 touchdowns or more. Okay, that's Matt Shodell's idiotic prediction. The same guy who asks terrible questions that no one should ever pay attention to. I'm saying they win by more than 2 touchdowns. Last week I was saying take the under. It's going to be a close game because there wasn't good matchups for Miami. I'm not going to rehash why, but you guys who watch the show all know why. So that's just my take on the game. And, you know, I know Gary wants to throw in the garbage, you know, Cal's games against whoever, UC Davis and some other bad teams. So all you're looking at is these 2 games. And FSU, you could throw that in the garbage too. So according to Gary, you only look at the Auburn game, and they played great in that game and won. So according to Gary, it's probably the best team he's seen. Am I right, Ferman?
No, because Auburn's not very good. And neither is FSU. Listen, Miami's significantly better than this team. I agree with you. I'm expecting a refocused Hurricane team to go out west, and I'm expecting a big victory also, just a little bit differently than Matt. I get what you're talking about the defense last week, and I agree. They didn't play great either, nowhere near as well as they had been playing, pretty much, at every level. I mean, the defensive line, I thought, compared to what they had been, was horrendous. The linebackers were average as can be. They lost Jaden Harris early at safety, which, created some anxious moments. But I just, I did not like the way the defense played against Virginia Tech either. But I do think that it is important that it doesn't have to be 50-50. And I agree with you, obviously, on Cam Ward. He's putting up numbers unlike any Miami quarterback ever has. If he stays at this pace, he will obliterate the record book. And, we've had some pretty good quarterbacks in this program. But I don't think he has to obliterate the record book. I think that if the goal is for Cam Ward to obliterate the record book, I don't know that Miami will accomplish the goals that it clearly legitimately has this year. And I thought that the game last week was a perfect example. Cam Ward made a few mistakes, and he was able to overcome them by the hair of his chinny chin. But you want to sit there and go life and death with an ACC title game appearance on the line, with possibly a playoff berth on the line. And even with the playoff berth, how about the seeding? Okay. You win the ACC, you get a first round bye in the playoff, which is a huge deal. Okay. There's a lot at stake here for this Miami team. With these type of goals, which are legitimate goals, you do not have a margin for error. For this team to become what I think it can be, they need to be more balanced on offense. They need to get the running game going. I am expecting, and I know I said this last week too, because I was expecting it last week too, and I personally think it was a big mistake that we did not see it last week, and we did see it a little bit in the third quarter. I'll get to that in 1 second, but I think they need to get the running game going. They need to get these running backs more involved in the game. They need more plays utilizing the obvious talent stable that they have at running back. And, you look at the Virginia Tech game, and, and we're not going to sit here and have a Damian Martinez debate again this morning. It's up to him. Yeah, we're not.
I mean, the other day you were really busting my balls. Oh, God damn it, I did it again. All right, we're not going to talk about Damian Martinez, thank God.
We're not. I mean, he had 14 carries in the game last week, but Mark Fletcher only had 5. Okay, Mark Fletcher needs more than 5 carries in a game. Okay, Jordan Lyle only had 3. Jordan Lyle needs more than 3 carries in a game. Christopher Johnson had 1. Okay, and he also had 1 catch. He had 1 catch for 4 yards, and he had a run on a jet sweep for 24, and that was his impact on the game. These are very good football players, guys, that need to have the opportunity to impact the game more. It is not a requirement. It is not a mandate that this team has to be the Xavier Restrepo show. Okay, love X. He's a great college football receiver. Also has a chance to rewrite the record books. But like him, he doesn't have to carry the offense. They have so many playmakers. These other guys have got to be involved. If I know Mario, man, like I have to believe that was the mandate of this week. I want to get these guys involved in the game. We're wasting talent here, which they are, with those number of touches for those level of players. And I know we're trying to fit 5 running backs into the game plan and the scheme, but I have to believe the mandate from Mario Cristobal to Shannon Dawson this week is we got to use the running game more. We have to get these other guys, our other playmakers, involved in the game. This is not a 2-man show, okay, of the Miami offense. And I am expecting to see that at Cal. I am expecting it to be effective. I am expecting a resounding, convincing, classy Miami Hurricanes victory this weekend, despite the time change and the travel and everything else that goes with it. I am expecting a solid Miami game this week, Matt.
Yeah, I just want to clarify something, at least on how I see things. You mentioned before 50-50 run pass, you want that ratio.
It doesn't have to be exactly.
But you mentioned that the other day. I understand it's not exactly, but do you think that's a perfect offense? This year's team, when you have the Heisman Award, very likely or very possible, at least, I think he's number 2 right now, winner, on your team, and the running game hasn't really got on track yet. I agree with you 100% they need to get the run going. With that said, I'm fine with a 70-30 pass ratio if you're the best quarterback in the country, because I don't want to take the ball out of his hands, unlike you, who on 20% of the plays, which is an extra 10 to 20 plays a game, you'd rather have the ball in one of 5 different running backs' hands. That's where we differ. I agree with 100%. Hold on, let me finish. I agree with you 100%. They need to get the run game going or they will not achieve their goals. You cannot have a non-existent running game and constantly be going with Cam Ward doing stuff. But with that said, I'm fine with them getting 20 total carries combined a week and him throwing the ball 40 times a week, like on that ratio. I have no problem with a 67% ratio pass to run when you have a guy like Cam Ward, who, by the way, can also add the running element that he's showed, especially this past weekend. So, I don't want to take the ball out of his hands. I understand you got to showcase your run when you need to, right? 3rd and 1, first downs to get in 2nd and manageables, 2nd and 6s to get in 3rd and manageables on the goal line. But I'm not run on 1st down, run on 2nd down. I'm done with that because we've seen that. We've seen run on 1st down, run on 2nd down, run on 3rd down in the Tyler Van Dyke offense. That's in the past, my friend. Okay, this is pass 2 out of every 3 downs and get a 1st down. Pass 2 out of every 3 downs and get another 1st down, or just pass and get a touchdown. It's not run, pass, run, pass, run. Like that's what they used to be. And to another extent, I want to discuss this too, because Damian Martinez is not built for the RPO handoffs. He's not he's an explosive back who needs a head of steam. And I understand, you could watch his highlights from last year. I understand he did have some RPO type handoffs, and he was fine with big holes when you watch the highlights, right? Those are when he has the big holes. Other plays you see him in the eye, and he's just pummeling guys and creating his holes. And that's what we're not seeing. And you can't put him in the eye in a Cam Ward offense. So I don't know where that goes. He doesn't have that quick burst. He doesn't have the Chris Johnson burst, obviously. I don't even think he has the Jordan Lyle or A.J. Allen burst, okay? I think him and Mark Fletcher are a little bit similar. They take a little bit more time to get really that head of steam going. It's not like Bam, they're not Ferraris, right? They're Jeeps or whatever a high-end Jeep would be. I don't know what you drive, Gary, but whatever you drive, I'm sure it's an exceptional SUV type vehicle. That's what they are. So I don't know with this offensive line if they're better off having a smaller, faster, shiftier guy versus the Jeep that's just going to sort of plow into a line and potentially not really go very far. I don't know.
They just have to play better, man. The offensive line's got to play better.
The offensive line definitely has to play better. But if you feel the offensive line is what we know it is through 5 games, Gary, then you have to adjust the type of running back and maybe even the type of running plays. Maybe they're better off running to the edges where you have maybe Jalen Rivers will be back, right?
They definitely need more variety.
Their interior offensive run blocking has been very poor. Inez Cooper, for whatever reason, has not graded out well in run blocking. Zach Carpenter's been fine, but on the other side, the run blocking of Matthew McCoy hasn't been particularly good, which has not helped, right? So maybe they need some runs to the edge with quicker guys. I don't know the answer. They're doing a lot, like they said, like somebody asked about, they're doing a lot of A-B gap runs, and they're not getting a lot out of it. So at some point, you got to expand that, in my opinion.
A little too predictable, and they definitely need to add some variety to the run game and get these backs outside in the open field. I totally agree with that. The problem with a 70-30 offense is you become too predictable in the other direction, and you're exposing Cam Ward to making more mistakes. And so I listen, it doesn't have to be 50-50. It could be 55, 45. It could even be 60-40. But
you're arguing 60-40 is fine and 70-30 is not? That's a difference of 5 passes instead of 5 runs in a game.
Oh, in a normal game, that should be an extra 7-8 plays. I mean, they have got to get these running backs involved in the offense. They're too good to not be involved, and gotten a little too predictable for understandable reasons. Restrepo is a pretty reliable dude, okay, but Cam Ward's starting to look at him a little too much, and he's staring him down. The defense is seeing it. They're keying on Restrepo. It's time to get these other playmakers. You got to pass. You got a free pass last week against Vatek. You survived all those mistakes that you made in that game. Now it is up to the Hurricanes to be more solid and not need that to win. And like I said, I am expecting to see that at Cal. I'm all in on it. I hope it happens. So that I don't have to put up with Matt's crap next week. But that's what I'm expecting as we head out west. All right. So we've got obviously a lot of coverage on the website. Still looking ahead to this game, like coaches always do. Mario is calling Cal the best team that Miami has played this year. He does point out astutely that they probably should have beaten Florida State. But they don't have a great offense. Okay. Their best player is probably Jaden Ott, a running back. He's been banged up, had a great year last year, but really has not gotten started this year. He's just averaging 3.3 yards a carry. Hopefully that doesn't change against the Hurricanes. Their quarterback is an average guy. Miami didn't even recruit him. He's from Miami Columbus High School, Fernando Mendoza. Miami did not even recruit this guy. Okay, so he's starting for Cal. He's done decent in their offense, but Miami's defense should be able to handle Cal on offense. The challenge is going to be Miami's offense against the Cal defense that has been allowing just 12.8 points and 287 yards a game. And like I said in the past, I think it's going to take a more complete game plan that includes the run game, and that's what I am expecting Miami to do in this game. So, we have an article on the website with Mario talking about all of these things. Make sure you check that out. Also on the website today, we have an article with Cal coach Justin Wilcox, a guy who's very familiar with Mario Cristobal from their time when they matched up when Mario was the head coach at Oregon. And Cal beat Oregon once. They upset the Ducks during the COVID year, 21-17. Mario won the other 3, and now they'll face off with Mario having a little bit of a different look team, and that'll be interesting. And Cam Ward is also a guy that the Cal Bears are familiar with. He went 1-1 against Cal and actually lost in this stadium a year ago, Matt. So a lot of familiarity. Okay. Cal, they've got a pretty good scouting report on Cam Ward. That's for sure. Probably more than anybody else Miami will play here this season. Your thoughts on whether that'll be a factor?
No, I don't. It's a different system. Cam Ward, honestly, is so difficult for any team to prepare for. He does so many different things that just teams haven't really seen. So I found it interesting also that apparently, I think Miami was using who was it? One of their freshman defensive linemen to mimic Jaden Ott in scout team, which I thought was really interesting. I'm more concerned about the arm tackles than anything that's going to happen to Cam Ward. I mean, there's really nobody. There's no defense, in my opinion, that can slow down Cam Ward. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't fathom it happening. So that's where I'm at with that.
All right. We also have a story on the website with Cal players looking at the Hurricanes, and obviously that starts with Mendoza. He's trying to keep himself level-headed. Let's be honest, but this is a big moment for him. He knows everybody in Miami is going to be watching this game. He's like I said, Miami native, Miami Columbus High. He's going to want to have a big game against Miami. But the problem there, Matt, is his offensive line is not very good. They've allowed 13 sacks in the last 2 games. Okay. Yeah. And the Miami pass rush up until the last game was pretty good. And now Ruben Bain is coming back. And man, I just think that poor Mendoza, I don't know how many of his relatives are traveling out there to watch him. I hope they're saving their travel money and their plane tickets and hotels. I don't see this being a great moment for Fernando Mendoza.
No, I agree. And by the way, last year, I think Ward had 4 touchdowns and over 350 yards against Washington. So, against Washington, against Cal when he's at Washington State. So, I don't think that, again, they're not going to slow him down. In terms of Mendoza, he was not good last year. I think he started 8 games. I don't have the numbers at the top of my head, but more interceptions than touchdowns. Nothing special, not real accurate down the field. So, is he better this year? He looks better. He looks like he's a better quarterback, but he's not. This is not an explosive offense. This is a run-heavy, plodding offense. And as long as Miami brings its big boy. It almost got like big ball pants. That would have been bad. Can you imagine if I said big ball pants?
Now you're going to be all right. You screwed up, and now you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset with testicles now. Seriously, like all the crap that we have.
I really almost said it because now it's in my head. I'm gonna interview from now on. Every interview with a player, I'm going to be mentioning something about a ball. It's going to be terrible.
The crap that we have to deal with you on
I have so many problems.
And now we have to deal with an obsession with testicles.
People on the internet should not make fun of disabled people. It's not right. Okay, I have a problem. But they need to put on their big boy pants and stop the run. Because if they do that, Mendoza cannot win this game by himself. It's all about stopping the run and not missing tackles. Mendoza, forget about it. I'm not worried about him winning this game. He's not the kind of guy. Like Cam Ward can win the game for Miami. Mendoza is not winning the game for Cal. The running game can win the game for Cal if Miami misses tackles. That's pretty much the only caveat to me.
All right, a couple more things we'll talk about today, but first I want to say a little bit about GameTime.co. I know that a lot of Canes fans on the West Coast, we have this analytics that show us where people log on to the website from, and you would be amazed how many are from the West Coast. A lot of Canes fans out there in San Diego, LA, even up in the San Francisco area. So I'm expecting a decent Cane turnout at Cal on Saturday night, but you may not have your tickets yet. And if that's the case, I can't urge you enough to utilize GameTime.co and the Game Time app, which has really become arguably the best marketplace for tickets that's available out there. And there's a feature they have that is really significant towards that cause, and that is Game Time Picks, because it makes getting tickets for any event so much easier. And Game Time Picks, they filter out the fluff. They show you only the best deals on the best seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. How many times have you gone online to shop for tickets for an event, and you just got to sit there and look after listing after listing for minute after minute, and it takes you forever to try to find your tickets? Game Time has made it easier for you with their curated deals that make it easier to find the best price on the best seats. They have super deals, last minute deals on tickets right up to the start of the event. You can even, listen, you're running late, like maybe you go play Pebble Beach or something before you go over to Cal, you're a golfer, and man, play is really slow and you're late getting to the game because you couldn't get through your 18 or whatever. Oh man, let me go to the Miami game. It's the middle of the first quarter. Game Time, they'll still have tickets for you, and you can go there and get your tickets. They have a lowest price guarantee, or they will credit you 110% of the difference. And the thing that I really love is they have this little toggle switch. Okay, you flick it on, you get all-in pricing. I mean, how ridiculous are fees when you're buying tickets now? The Game Time can't control that so much, but the fees are absurd. Sometimes the fees are as much as the tickets. You never know what you're really paying, okay? With Game Time, you know what you're paying. You flick that toggle switch, and you get all-in pricing. So let's say the event is canceled. They give you event cancellation protection. Let's say you buy your tickets, and you suddenly lose your job, and you really can't afford to spend the money on those tickets to go to that event. They'll give you a refund. It's their job loss assurance policy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app if you can. You can use the website at gametime.co, not gametime.com, gametime.co, or you download the Game Time app and you create an account. And when you make your first purchase, you use the code name ON3, okay? And they will give you $20 off your first purchase. Thank you very much. We just saved you money. So create an account, use the code ON3. They'll give you $20 off your first purchase. You'll buy your tickets in 2 quick taps. It's a matter of seconds. It's all it takes. So download Game Time today. Get your tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. What time is it? It's game time, Matt.
You know what? You know what I want? I don't want Game Time tickets. I want a platinum bar from Costco. They're selling that instead of gold. They ran out of gold bars. They're selling platinum bars, and they're running out fast. So you people better get out there like yesterday. By the way, platinum is it's like gold. Is a price per ounce. They're charging 8% more than what it actually costs, and they just sell them as bars, and people are buying them like it's like there's no tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know what you do with a platinum bar. Maybe put it under your pillow. Where would you put your platinum bar, Gary? I don't know. You can buy 5 of them. That's all. That's what they're limiting it to.
No comment. I'm not.
You don't want a platinum bar? All right, I was going to get it for you for your birthday. Never mind.
All right, a couple other stories on the website today. We got the story of a Miami offensive line commit by name of Takelin Mukes. He committed to Miami 3.5 months ago. He's having a hell of a season over there at Jacksonville Duncan Youth Fletcher High School. They're 5-0. He's all fired up about that, and he talks about that and his upcoming visit schedule, which involves a return to Miami for the October 26th game against Florida State, the November 2nd game against Duke, and he'll even be there for Miami's senior day game against Wake Forest on November 23rd. This guy is clearly a firmed up commitment, but get the latest on him. We also have a story on top 125 linebacker Kellen Wiley. He is from Tampa, Armwood, a four-star linebacker, and you can get the update on him. And then the other really big thing going on this weekend is a huge game tonight over at I think it's a Traz Powell between Miami Central and Teddy Bridgewater's Miami Northwestern team. And they really, this game used to be like a really big deal in town, and it's getting back to being that. And it's going to be loaded up with potential Hurricane prospects out there on the field tonight. You got four-star 2026 wide receiver Calvin Russell, 4-star 2026 cornerback Javari Flowers, 4-star safety Amari Wallace, 3-star linebacker Ezekiel Marcelin, and 3-star linebacker Karen Maycock, and certainly a lot more that'll be emerging. So if you're a high school football nut, go over to Traz Powell tonight. Check out Central Northwestern. We'll have the guys there live from the crib, and we'll give you some coverage. But we've got a story advancing that here on the website this morning. But that's going to do it for today for Good Morning CaneSport. Matt's headed out to lay stone crab traps before he settles in late at night to watch the Canes game. I'm headed out to the West Coast, and man, it's going to be a long 6-hour flight. But I am looking forward to it. I really like these different types of games. You get tired of the same. Yeah, let's go to Durham and see Miami play Duke, and let's go to the Chapel Hill and see Miami play North Carolina, whatever. I kind of like this little wrinkle in the ACC. I don't know how long this is going to last, but for now, this should be a really interesting road trip going out to Cal. I think I've been there once when Miami played there before, but still, I'm looking forward to it. I love the West Coast, so we'll be out there bringing you all the inside scoop on what I expect to be a big-time Canes win, and I know Matt does too. So for Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. Thank you so much for starting out your day with us this morning, everybody, and we will see you next time after hopefully a big Canes victory this weekend. Have a great day.